What if one of the biggest stars from NCIS, Los Angeles, was finally making a return to the NCIS universe, but not as the beloved character fans have spent years hoping to see? For a long time, viewers have imagined emotional reunions, surprise guest appearances, and the return of familiar faces that helped define one of television's most popular crime franchises. Every new season brings fresh speculation, with fans wondering if another NCIS, Los Angeles favorite, might step back into the spotlight. Now, that anticipation has taken an unexpected turn. A major NCIS, Los Angeles alum, is officially returning to the franchise. But instead of reprising the role that made them a household name, they're coming back in a completely different way, one that almost no one predicted. The announcement has sparked excitement across the fan community, while also raising plenty of questions about what this surprising move could mean for the future of the franchise. So why isn't the actor returning as their original character? Was it a creative decision, a scheduling issue, or part of a much bigger plan for the expanding NCIS universe? And could this unexpected return still open the door for future appearances by other fan-favorite characters? In today's video, we're breaking down everything we know about this surprising development, why it has caught longtime viewers off guard, how fans are reacting across social media, and what it could signal for the future of NCIS. If you've followed NCIS, Los Angeles, from the very beginning, this is one story you won't want to miss. For more than 2 decades, the NCIS franchise has grown into one of television's biggest success stories, introducing audiences to unforgettable agents, gripping investigations, and characters whose journeys have stayed with fans long after the credits rolled. Among its most beloved chapters was NCIS, Los Angeles, a series that built a loyal following through its mix of action, humor, and heartfelt relationships. Ever since the show's finale, fans have continued hoping that familiar faces would one day return. Every new casting announcement has sparked fresh speculation about surprise reunions, long-awaited cameos, or the chance to revisit unfinished storylines. But the latest announcement has taken almost everyone by surprise, not because a former NCIS, Los Angeles star is coming back, but because the return isn't happening in front of the camera. Eric Christian Olsen, best known for playing Marty Deeks, is officially rejoining the franchise as an executive producer on NCIS, Origins beginning with Season 3, rather than reprising his fan-favorite character. It's a major return to the NCIS family, but in a completely different role than many viewers expected. Good housekeeping. In today's video, we'll break down exactly what Eric Christian Olsen's new role means, why CBS chose this unexpected direction, how fans have reacted to the announcement, and whether this behind-the-scenes comeback could eventually open the door for even more familiar faces to return to the ever-expanding NCIS universe. When news first broke that a beloved NCIS, Los Angeles star, was officially returning to the franchise, longtime fans reacted exactly as you might expect. Social media lit up almost instantly with excitement, as viewers began sharing clips, favorite moments, and theories about how their favorite character might be written back into the NCIS universe. After all, in a franchise built on familiar faces and unexpected reunions, many assumed this was finally the comeback they had been hoping for. The announcement confirmed that LL Cool J would indeed be returning to the world of NCIS, but there was one crucial detail that immediately changed the conversation. Rather than returning to NCIS, Los Angeles, or simply making another crossover appearance as Sam Hanna, he would instead be appearing in NCIS, taking on a new chapter within the flagship series. While he remains the same beloved character, the setting, team dynamics, and purpose of his return make it something very different from the reunions many fans had imagined. That unexpected twist caught audiences off guard. For months, and even years, fans had speculated about a possible revival of NCIS, Los Angeles, a reunion special, or guest appearances featuring the original OSB team. Instead, the franchise chose a completely different route. Rather than revisiting the past, the producers appear to be looking toward the future by integrating one of the franchise's most recognizable agents into a new environment with fresh story possibilities. This approach also sets the announcement apart from previous NCIS crossovers. In the past, crossover events were typically temporary. Characters would assist on a single case, share a few memorable scenes, and then return to their respective series. Those appearances were exciting, but they were designed as special events rather than long-term changes. This latest move feels more significant because it opens the door for ongoing interactions with entirely different characters, creating storylines that simply weren't possible before. From a creative standpoint, the decision makes a great deal of sense. Bringing an established fan favorite into the flagship series allows producers to honor the legacy of NCIS, Lowe's Angels, while also strengthening the current show. It introduces familiar energy without relying solely on nostalgia. Veteran viewers get to reconnect with a character they've followed for well over a decade, while newer audiences have an opportunity to discover why Sam Hanna became one of the franchise's most respected agents. Of course, none of this would carry the same impact without LL Cool J's remarkable history within the franchise. From the very first season of NCIS, Lowe's Angels, Sam Hanna quickly established himself as far more than just an elite field operative. He became the loyal partner, trusted mentor, devoted father, and steady moral compass whose calm confidence balanced even the most dangerous situations. Across hundreds of episodes, audiences watched him grow through personal loss, intense undercover missions, and countless life-threatening investigations, making him one of the defining faces of the entire NCIS universe. It's no surprise, then, that the announcement spread across entertainment news outlets and social media within hours. Headlines celebrated the return of a franchise icon, while fans debated what this new direction could mean for future storylines. Some wondered whether other former NCIS, Lowe's Angels cast members might eventually follow, while others focused on how Sam Hanna would fit alongside the flagship team's current roster. Discussion threads, reaction videos, and fan theories quickly multiplied as viewers tried to piece together what this return might signal for the future of the franchise. And while the announcement itself was certainly exciting, the biggest surprise wasn't simply that this fan favorite was coming back. It was discovering exactly what role he would play and how dramatically that choice could reshape the next chapter of the NCIS universe. For years, television audiences have become accustomed to seeing familiar faces return to long-running franchises. Sometimes those returns are exactly what viewers hoped for. A beloved character walks back through the door, picks up where they left off, and instantly rekindles memories of past seasons. But occasionally, producers choose a very different path. Instead of bringing back the character everyone remembers, they invite the actor back to portray someone entirely new. That appears to be exactly what makes this latest NCIS announcement so unusual. Rather than relying solely on nostalgia, the franchise is exploring a fresh creative direction. It allows producers to benefit from the actor's experience and popularity while avoiding the storytelling limitations that often come with reviving an established character whose journey may have already reached a satisfying conclusion. This kind of casting isn't unheard of in television history. Across multiple franchises, actors have occasionally returned years later in different roles, surprising audiences who initially assumed they were watching a familiar face re-enter the story. While it can feel strange at first, these decisions often give writers much greater creative freedom. Instead of being tied to decades of existing character history, they can introduce someone with new motivations, relationships, and mysteries that fit today's version of the series. For NCIS, that flexibility could be especially valuable. The franchise has evolved considerably since its earliest seasons. New teams, new leadership, and changing investigative styles have gradually reshaped the show's identity. Bringing back a recognizable actor without revisiting every storyline connected to their former character allows the series to acknowledge its past while continuing to move forward. At the same time, this approach creates one of television's biggest challenges: convincing audiences to separate the performer from the character they loved for years. Many viewers spent well over a decade watching this actor build one of NCIS, Los Angeles' most recognizable personalities. That emotional connection doesn't disappear simply because the character has changed. The moment the actor appears on screen, longtime fans may instinctively expect familiar mannerisms, relationships, or callbacks to earlier episodes. Instead, they'll be meeting someone entirely different. That psychological hurdle isn't easy to overcome. Actors themselves often describe these situations as both exciting and intimidating. On one hand, they get the opportunity to explore a completely new role within a world they already know well. On the other hand, every performance risks being compared to the character that made them famous. Interestingly, that challenge may actually become one of the strengths of the new role. Viewers could spend the first few episodes expecting one thing before gradually embracing a completely different personality. If written well, the contrast itself becomes part of the viewing experience. As expected, social media reacted almost immediately after the announcement. Within hours, fans were sharing screenshots, discussing theories, and debating what this surprising return actually meant. Some viewers celebrated the opportunity to see a familiar performer back inside the NCIS universe, regardless of the role. For them, the actor's presence alone is enough to generate excitement. Others expressed understandable disappointment. Many had hoped this announcement would finally deliver the long-rumored return of the original NCIS, Los Angeles character. After years of speculation following the series finale, they imagined emotional reunions with former teammates or unresolved storylines finally receiving closure. Discovering that the actor would instead portray someone entirely new wasn't what those fans had expected. Still, even among disappointed viewers, curiosity quickly replaced frustration. Questions began circulating across fan communities. Would the new character have connections to existing NCIS agents? Could there be subtle references to the actor's previous role? Would producers intentionally acknowledge the resemblance as an inside joke, or would they simply expect audiences to accept the new identity without explanation? Those conversations demonstrate something important about the strength of the franchise. Even a casting announcement can generate days of discussion because NCIS has built such a loyal audience over more than 2 decades. Fans don't simply watch the episodes, they analyze every casting decision, every promotional photo, and every interview for clues about where the franchise is heading next. Of course, one hope continues to surface repeatedly. Many longtime viewers aren't treating this announcement as the end of the story. Instead, they're wondering whether this new role could exist alongside a future appearance by the actor's original character. Television history has shown that producers sometimes keep major surprises secret until episodes actually air, leading some fans to believe that nothing should be ruled out completely. At the moment, however, there has been no official indication that the original NCIS, Los Angeles character, is returning. The confirmed news centers on the actor joining the franchise in a different role, and that's the expectation audiences should have going into the new episodes. More broadly, this casting choice reflects the evolving philosophy of the NCIS franchise. Rather than relying exclusively on familiar characters to attract viewers, the producers appear interested in combining recognizable talent with fresh storytelling possibilities. It's a balancing act between honoring the past and ensuring the series doesn't become trapped by it. If this experiment proves successful, it could even encourage more unexpected casting decisions in the future. Other former franchise actors might eventually return, not necessarily as the characters audiences remember, but as entirely new people who can contribute to the expanding NCIS universe in unexpected ways. That possibility keeps the franchise creatively flexible while rewarding longtime viewers with familiar faces. It's a strategy that embraces nostalgia without allowing nostalgia to dictate every creative decision. Ultimately, that's the challenge facing every long-running television franchise. Fans naturally want to revisit the characters who shaped their favorite memories, But successful series also need room to introduce new stories, new relationships, and new conflicts that keep the universe feeling alive. NCIS now finds itself walking that very line, respecting its history while continuing to reinvent itself for a new generation of viewers. Transition. Whether fans love or question the decision, one thing is certain. The conversation about the future of NCIS is far from over. As we reach the end of this story, one thing has become unmistakably clear. This is not the return that longtime NCIS fans spent years imagining. When the announcement first surfaced, many immediately assumed a beloved character was finally making a long-awaited comeback. Instead, the franchise revealed something far more unexpected, bringing back a familiar actor, but in a completely different role. It's a bold, creative decision that challenges expectations, while proving that the NCIS universe is still willing to surprise its audience. For viewers who have followed NCIS, Los Angels from the very beginning, the news is understandably bittersweet. Seeing a recognizable face return naturally stirs memories of iconic investigations, unforgettable partnerships, and emotional storylines that helped define the series. At the same time, accepting that the actor won't be reprising the character fans know and love may take some adjustment. Nostalgia is powerful, and many viewers still hope that one day the original character could make an appearance somewhere in the franchise. At the heart of the conversation is an interesting creative question. Should a long-running television universe always revisit its past, or should it find new ways to evolve? By casting a former franchise star as someone entirely different, the producers appear to be choosing reinvention over repetition. Rather than relying solely on familiar storylines, they're opening the door to fresh mysteries, new relationships, and unexpected character dynamics that wouldn't have been possible otherwise. That doesn't mean fan speculation will disappear anytime soon. If anything, this announcement has only intensified online discussions. Across social media, viewers continue debating whether this new role could somehow connect to the actor's previous character, whether future crossover events remain possible, and whether the franchise still has more surprises waiting behind the scenes. The NCIS fan community has always been passionate, and this latest twist has given everyone something new to analyze. It's also worth remembering that television history is filled with unexpected casting decisions that initially divided audiences before eventually becoming fan favorites. Sometimes the biggest risks lead to the most memorable stories. Whether this decision follows that path remains to be seen, but it certainly demonstrates that the NCIS franchise isn't content to stand still after more than 2 decades on the air. For now, many questions remain unanswered. How significant will this new character become? Will there be subtle references for longtime NCIS, Los Angels viewers? Could this successful return encourage the franchise to bring back other familiar actors in similarly surprising ways? Those answers will only come once the new episodes begin to unfold. One thing, however, is beyond doubt. The announcement has already accomplished exactly what every television franchise hopes for. It has people talking. Fans who haven't watched in years are paying attention again. Longtime viewers are eagerly discussing theories online, and anticipation continues to build with every new update. As more official details emerge, we'll be here to break them down, separate confirmed information from speculation, and explore what each development could mean for the future of the NCIS universe. Until then, what do you think about this unexpected casting decision? Are you excited to see the actor return in a brand new role, or would you rather have seen them reprise their original character? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest NCIS news, updates, and behind-the-scenes discussions. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.